intercepted. It's Asante Samuel going in untouched.
Sprint right for Sims. Looking downfield, and it is intercepted. That is Asante Samuel Jr.
Every year, we see more and more NFL prospects that are the sons of former players. With 2021 featuring multiple draftees who fall into this category, I decided to compare these rookies to their dads. Interestingly enough, some turn out to be exactly like their fathers, while others are quite different. Now, before we get started, this video is sponsored by SeatGeek. Live events are back, and with football season looming, it's almost time to get back out there and watch your favorite teams. But whether it's football, basketball, concerts, or other events, SeatGeek puts tickets from all across the web into one area, making buying simple. SeatGeek rates each ticket on a scale from 0 to 10 to make sure that you're getting a good deal. And lastly, first-time users can use my promo code KTO at checkout for $20 off your first purchase. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app. Shout out to SeatGeek for the sponsor. Now, here are the 2021 rookies compared to their dads. Minus the Surtains because I've already covered them in a previous video. Link down below. Following an excellent 2020 season at Clemson, wide receiver Amari Rodgers was selected in the 3rd round by the Green Bay Packers. He had some advantages running routes over the years, considering one of the people throwing to him was his dad, T. Martin, a former NFL quarterback. T. Martin was mostly known for the work he did in college at the University of Tennessee, where he led them to a national title in 1998, something his famous predecessor failed to do. Martin was an excellent dual-threat quarterback in college, and following his career at Tennessee, he was drafted in the 5th round by the Pittsburgh Steelers, who had been experimenting with mobile quarterbacks at the time. The biggest downside for T. Martin was his accuracy. This held him back in the pros, and he never started a game in the NFL, and really only found a small amount of playing time in Oakland before his NFL career was over. He did have success in NFL Europe though, where he led the Rain Fire to the best record in the league, and an appearance in the World Bowl. Nowadays, Martin is a receivers coach for the Baltimore Ravens. T. Martin's son Amari was born in 1999, just a few months after the Vols won the national title. Amari would be raised where his dad played college ball, in Knoxville. He spent his childhood mostly away from his dad, who would be taking coaching jobs across the country. Amari was actually a running back until late in high school when he attended a football camp at USC, where his dad was the receivers coach at the time. And after jumping into some drills with his dad, it inspired Amari to change positions. Years later, he became one of the key contributors on Clemson's football team.
The defense, once again it's Amari Rodgers, and he'll go the distance.
So how do these two compare? The biggest difference, other than that they played different positions, is their size. T. Martin is about 6'2" and played around 225 pounds. Amari is 5'9" and is about 212 pounds. This caused Amari to be faster and quicker than his dad was, but athletically they do possess some similarities. Both are strong. You could see it in Martin's throwing ability and Amari's compact strength. And then they both possess a bursty type speed, a certain quickness that allowed them to get away from defenders. Overall, it'll be interesting to see if Amari will have more success in the pros than his dad did. Up next, we have the Samuels. Asante Samuel Jr. is a corner out of Florida State. He was drafted in the 2nd round to the LA Chargers. His last college season, he intercepted 3 passes, which sounds like his dad, who was an interception maestro during the 2000s. Asante Samuel Sr. was a low-key prospect out of college. He was a 4th round pick from UCF to the New England Patriots. Originally a backup, he first saw his chance to start due to injuries to Tyrone Poole and Ty Law. But right away, the Patriots realized that they had found a diamond in the rough with this guy, and he became an immediate presence for them. A list of some of his accomplishments include a core starter during 2 Super Bowl wins. In 2006, he tied the league lead with 10 interceptions, 3 of which in one game. And then he went on to 4 straight Pro Bowls from 2007 through 2010. Eventually, he retired after the Falcons released him in 2014. he was easily one of the best corners during the 2000s. Interesting enough, Asante Samuel Sr. has 6 kids, and only one of them was a boy, whom he named after himself. His son, who goes by AJ, was born in 1999, which would have been Asante Sr.'s freshman year at UCF. These two are very similar. Size-wise, they are a near-perfect match, and on the field, both were considered undersized, but do the most with what they got. When looking at their pre-draft measurables, there are a ton of similarities. Just about every stat is in the same ballpark. It's almost like as soon as he named his son Asante Jr., he became a clone of him. Although, I'm sure AJ wouldn't like to hear that. Last up, we have the Horns. Jaycee Horn was one of the best prospects in the entire draft class, as he was the first cornerback off the board. Jaycee would have had a great mentor to learn from, considering his dad was Joe Horn. Joe Horn's rise to NFL stardom is deserving of its own video, but for the purposes of what we're talking about, I'll quickly tell his story. So, Horn had signed with South Carolina out of high school, but poor grades kept him from attending any Division I school. So instead, he went to spend 2 years at Itawamba Community College in Mississippi. And after failing to make grades again for D1, Joe would spend 2 years not playing any football at all, and actually just working fast food and at a furniture factory. This is the part of the story that gets crazy. Apparently, he got to the point that he was so broke, he only had $6 left in his possession. And that's when he decided to make a big $4 investment. He went over to his local Blockbuster and bought a Jerry Rice workout VHS and studied Rice's moves. He then made his own home video, kind of Uncle Rico style, and sent it out to teams all over the US and Canada. This apparently worked because he eventually got a tryout opportunity in the CFL. He would actually make the Baltimore Stallions, but only their practice squad. Following that, there was a short stint with the Shreveport Pirates, and then his big break came when he signed with the Memphis Mad Dogs. Clearly, that Jerry Rice VHS tape came in clutch. 71 catches and over 1,400 yards later, Joe Horn had caught the attention of NFL scouts. And following his breakout season, he was drafted in 1996 by the Kansas City Chiefs. He would serve as a role player there, but eventually he would find his way on the Saints, and the rest is history.
Brooks rifles a touchdown. Joe Horn has 4 catches for score.
For his son Jaycee, it's been a much different story. For starters, he actually made it into South Carolina with no issues, unlike his dad. And from there, he solidified himself as one of the premier defensive players in his class. When comparing the two, they're just about the same size, both standing at 6'1". Jaycee is a more promising prospect than his dad was. Despite the difference in position, Jaycee is the better athlete of the two, and he himself even claimed that he would lock his dad down if he got the chance.
Talking about your pops. Prime Joe Horn, okay, versus you right now.
Yeah, I know it is going.
We're doing 10 reps, all right?
Yep.
How many of those reps you locking them down?
I would probably say I went 6, 7. I be telling them, like, man, Pops, the game done changed. Like, you're gonna have to work me off the line a little bit more.
Only time will tell whether Jaycee will live up to the legacy of his dad. But one thing is for sure, it's going to be pretty tough to top his end zone celebrations.
Empty backfield. Brooks with time, rifles, touchdown, Saints. Joe Horn, and he pulls up the protective coating. There's a new one. He got his own phone. He hit his phone. He had his phone stashed